or played at high volume, preferably in a residential area.
I did hear that they were coming through necessary media.
Because it's necessary. Necessary media. Media because it's necessary.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am back again, your host and friend Michael DeOliveira, ushering in the necessary era every Wednesday here live on Comcast Channel 95. And if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe here, right there. Click that thing. We need to get the subscribers up. Now, ladies and gentlemen, today is already off to a special start. I got a live studio audience in front of me today, okay? This is a rarity. We had tickets. There was a select few people who got messages for tickets. They got them. They showed up. About, I want to say 60% showed up, though, to be honest. 40% are just probably watching at home. I know who you are. I know where you live. You are now void from all contests going forward. But again, we have a live studio audience here. So, I got Jake. Hold on. All right, Jake, you do it. Kelly, what's up? Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, Kelly. All right, I was gonna be mad, but Kelly, I know there was a lot of hype about this place. I don't know if I can reveal the name of it. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we got a blue slush from that. So again, ladies and gentlemen, I have a live studio audience and I appreciate that, but we had a blue slush handed to me today from that place that was getting a lot of hype. I've still yet myself to go there because I refuse to wait in a line that's going to take me about a half hour to get a burger and fries and a blue slush. But I'm going to tell you right now, to that company, if you got, I got to block that name, but if you want to be a sponsor, holler at me. It's delicious. Yeah, so again, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get this show going. I got a couple topics I want to get into. Now, my other question, that was Kelly just handing me that blue slush, but Jake, do we get a guest? Can you check the door? Is that a guest here? No?
Mr. Herman, you have a telephone call at the front desk.
Mr. Herman? There's no Mr. Herman today. There's no guest today. Ladies and gentlemen, I didn't feel I needed a guest today. There's a couple things to talk about, and honestly, quite frankly, I think I can handle this on my own. But if you want to call in and jump on this, I reached out. Again, if you're not following me on social media, get on that. Facebook.com/TheNecessaryMedia, Twitter @NecessaryMedia. I posted what I wanted to talk about, and the two main things I want to get into, we'll probably get into some side things, but I wanted to get into, I'm not going to hold this to any one particular person. I think there was a sentiment going around that this is like to one floor of a city councilor. It's not what I'm talking about. This might be a national issue that I'm just not even aware of, but in a matter of fact, it's today. There's one having one today, but there's already been at least two. I think one other city council had one. There's another one coming up where there's already campaign fundraisers going on. Now, in case you're unaware of how this all works, these people just got in, January, they kick this off, they get into office, so they're basically less than or about to hit 6 months into the first year of their term, and we're already doing some campaign fundraising. Now, what this means to me, again, this is not isolating any one particular counselor, but the problem I have with this is that an issue with the counselor, which I'm not saying it is, but if you want to call in on this, feel free. The number right there, as you can see, 508-730-3222. And again, I'm not highlighting one particular council. This, I think, is a nationwide issue where immediately into getting in office, these politicians are already building a war chest so that they can combat any newcomers who are trying to come in and get in on their comeuppance, all right? So you gotta think about this. Now, if somebody's already in office, they already have the advantage one way or another because they have name and face recognition, right? These people see them every day. They know that they're responsible for what's going on in office. But they also now have opportunity to have fundraisers so early with this name recognition and face recognition. That's got to clearly be a disadvantage to anybody else who's trying to come in. So again, I'm not too sure how I feel about this yet. I understand the benefits of the person sitting there, but is this really beneficial for everybody else? Is it really? I don't know, which means is it beneficial for the city? Really, is it? Because you could have, okay, because again, let's not isolate one particular. Let's use candidate X. X gonna give it to you. Candidate X gonna give it to you, and let's say they're the best candidate in the world. That means you love this. You're like, get in there. Start raising money so you can stay there and make rainbows and unicorns for everybody. That's fabulous. Fabulous, okay? But what if you have a candidate in there who is like, they just barely got in. Maybe they're sponsored by the business community who has no, they don't really care about the actual public, which I want to get into some of that later a little bit. I got to watch time. That's time management. Clock manage it, folks. We're going to Bill Belichick in this thing. Clock management. You got somebody in there who's just funded by like business representatives, okay? They're going to be feeding that war chest and feeding you and feeding it and feeding it. And then what? No competition? How do you get out of that? How do you change things? Which is what everything's about right now, Fall River, right? We're trying to change things. Well, the more you learn about what's been the problem in Fall River, you're going to understand there are certain key elements who have been feeding and feeding and feeding the beast that is this established political system, okay? So it's been, before this awareness has been growing, as of late, in the last like 2-3 years, we've had this awareness growing in the city. But before that, nobody was really paying attention. I know myself, I was paying attention on a federal level, but I never got involved in the local stuff. So for now, for people to actually stop paying attention locally, you know the expression, think locally, act reverse. Think globally, act locally. I get it now because it's tangible. You can go to these city council meetings. You can call your representatives, okay? You've seen in previous shows, I've had whatever guests on from city council. If you're familiar with the radio show, I've had city council, I've had state rep. This stuff is gonna go on as the show goes on, okay? Which is, again, make sure you get out there and tell people about it. Build the force up. The force is with you, my friends. So let's build this up and we'll see where we can get this. But you'll get these people in, and if you pay attention, they have to pay attention to you. That's the trick. That's how this dichotomy works. The more you pay attention to them, the more you get out and talk to them and make noise, the more you vote, the more they have to pay attention to you. Okay, we have areas of the city where we have projections of projects that they're trying to establish to change for the betterment of the city, right? But a lot of the attention is going to go to the places where people pay attention the most. The people get out there and vote the most. That's where their bread is buttered, so that's where they're going to go butter some bread. You know what I mean? So this is how that kind of works. Now, again, if you want to call in on this subject, I'm expecting something or some calls to roll in a while. I know there's people out there who have different schedules, so I am expecting that. But some other subjects I want to get into in a little bit. There's a lot of talk going on lately with the fall of the public school system, and I think in the school system as a whole. But I don't really want to isolate any particulars about it. I really kind of want to talk about the whole thing in general, the grand scheme of things.
Won't somebody please think of the children?
I want to think about the children, okay? Children are the future, right? That was the song. I get it. We got to think about the children, but we have other parts to this. So like I said, I don't really want to get into the little nuts and bolts of it. I kind of want to have a discussion on the grand scheme of things. But to start off the show, I already kind of did, but I want to lead into something here. The other day, I was going about my business in Fall River, okay? I was doing some tasks, and I ran into somebody at a store while I was waiting there in line. This person started just talking to me about, I think this transferred over from something like in a magazine cover on the side while you're waiting there. You know, you want to cash out, and now at the same time, you want to buy a bag of M&Ms, you want to read a magazine. So I think it started off a conversation from a magazine on a national scale political conversation, and then it slowly turned into more of a local thing. Well, come to find out, he knew who I was, he knew this show, he knew a couple other things going on in the city, and he started asking me about stuff with the local political scene. So now to get back to why I wanted to talk about this thing with the campaign stuff, as I'm talking to him, and he's asking me, can you believe this, can you believe that? He lets me know that during this whole past election we had, he was a supporter of of pushing for a lot of new blood, okay? We had this wave of Fall River residents who were starting to pay attention. They wanted new blood pumped into their system. They were just, give me it. I can't take this old stuff no more. I need the new stuff. And he was one of those people. And one of the reasons why was what I was talking about before. He recognized that the old blood that was already here, again, this is no particulars in name. If you don't feel this applies to you, then don't apply it to you. Move on and be a part of what's better for everybody. But my understanding is he was concerned with the way things were going, so he voted in for a lot of new blood. When I started talking about this campaign stuff, he was not too happy with it. Okay, he was one of the people who was with me on this. We're like, we shouldn't be doing this. We got to get a lot of people talk about getting the money out of it. We got to get money out of it some way, shape, or form, or at least weaken it. But before I go on with that, I believe we have a caller. Hey, caller, you there?
I'm here.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, and yourself?
Good, this is Norbert.
Oh, hey, Norbert, how are you? Oh, I'm not
how are
going to
you?
go through the
Good,
how
good,
are yous.
good.
I just already dropped, you're good, right?
Yeah.
You're good, I'm good. What's up, man?
No, I just want to talk about doing fundraisers, like campaign.
Yeah.
And I think it's a little too early because you haven't even, like you said, you haven't even been in there for 6 months, and they're already trying to get money from the public to try to save their seats. That's why I'm in favor of term limits.
Oh, all right. Now, when you say term limits, what do you got a number you think, like the magic number?
I think maybe two term, like 4 years for city council, because it's 2 years.
Right.
So maybe 4, and then after that you're gone. You can't run anymore, because then that will give a new opportunity for some new blood to come in, like you said, and have an opportunity.
New blood. Now, if in the example of somebody, because like I said, I think there's some people out there who think this is directed at like 1 or 2 people. No, I'm sure as the next months, especially as we get into the nicer and nicer weather, you're going to see all sorts of campaigning going on already, which is insane to me. But do you think it's more of a problem, or do you think the problem should be directed at the individual doing it, or do you think that they're stuck in a system that forces them to do it? Because I think that's the conversation that'll happen out of this. That's what they'll say when you talk to them about this. So what do you think about that?
I think it's the system, because it doesn't give them enough time to do their work. Because even with the mayor, because he only has 2 years.
Right. So are you one of those people who support, like in the charter, the charter revisions? Are you someone who supports longer term for the mayor?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the fence with that. I get both sides. I think I would support a longer term, but I understand how it can be a problem. But I'm with you on that, because my issue is if these people already getting in, if we use the city council, for God's sakes, we haven't even gotten to the mayor situation yet. So actually, you know what? I'm going to highlight somebody. The first person I heard about doing this, I don't know if Norb, if you had heard about this before. The first person I had heard was doing the campaigning was Sean Kadim had I think a campaign fundraiser. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
No, I haven't heard. I didn't hear that, but I'm not surprised.
All right, but see, that's what I mean. When you say you're not surprised, that's because, all right, popular sentiment out there is that he's going to be someone who's making a run at the mayor's seat coming up in the next cycle. So because I've already heard that being discussed as rumored, I mean, I have no confirmation, but the strong rumor is that's the case. With thinking that ahead of time, you can already say, okay, well, that's why he's fundraising, because he's already going for that. But now to have at least one city councilor, and I know there's already plans for the others coming out, to start already doing campaign fundraisers, I mean, this is just, like I said, it's an all-around problem. It's not even for a specific position.
Yeah.
So, again, so if you think it's the whole system, right, so obviously I'm assuming the more you hear about somebody doing this, that's going to lose your support.
Yeah, I think that if you're such a good city councilor, right, you should be able to wait for the last six months of your term to stop campaigning. That's how I feel. That's my opinion.
You know what? Again, I invite any of them the next councils I start having in here, that is going to be a question I ask them, and not in a way that's aggressive and saying you're wrong. I want to know their perspective, because while there's a lot of conversation out there about campaigning in general, I've made it clear I'm not somebody who's against campaign fundraisers at all. Like, there's that.
No, I'm not. No.
But it's to me, and I think this is what you're saying, it's a healthy balance.
Right.
Like, I need to have a healthy balance of this. If you jump out 6 months into your term, I'm just, what's going on? What have we done yet? But if the answer's going to be, well, this is how the system is, this is what I got to do to compete, what you just said, Norbert, that's pretty much the response I'm going to give. Shouldn't you be able to stand on your merits a little? Like, shouldn't you, at the end of your first term, in that last 6-month period, if you're running then, you should have some weight to stand on, which might actually get you more votes than putting signs up everywhere all over the dang place, right?
Exactly. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Hey, while I got you there, I want to ask you one other question, though, because I want to get into it more later, so I won't keep you on for the whole thing. But just what's your overall opinion on the school system we have in Fall River right now? The entire view of it, the entire package, not necessarily necessary, not just necessarily the specifics having to do with the budgets and whatnot, but the whole entire package. What's your overall take on it?
Well, personally, I have no children in the school system, so I couldn't really answer that question. But let me tell you a quick story. I was in Reds near my house, and these two little kids came in. What's that?
I'm listening. You're fine.
These two little kids came in the store, right? And one of them, and they were talking to another little kid, and he was asking him for weed, and he had a cuss shirt on. I don't understand what's going on in school. Like,
Hey,
I don't
all right.
understand.
Hey, listen, that was a funny story because I had a similar situation happen to me today, where, in full disclosure, I won't say when or where, but it was pretty much somewhere closer than I expected. I had somebody, like, I'm walking to the store somewhere, and I had somebody stop me, and he's just like, hey. Now, I'm like, what's going on? I'm thinking he's just saying, what's up? Guy's trying to ask me something. I finally get closer. He's trying to ask me if I know anybody who wants to buy a Xanax. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Like, one, I will say this. I don't know if it's this, which has got to get shaved off pronto, but I don't know if it's this or what, but at least I know I don't look like a narc right now. Like, I've had that happen to me before in my life where I went into somewhere and for no reason I was being, like, harassed, like as if I was a cop. And I'm like, believe me, I'm not a cop, relax. But for this guy to just come up to some random person he don't know from a hole in the wall and ask that, I'm like, this is pretty insane. Now, what's the age range you're talking about? You said he was two little kids?
I thought maybe 11, 12 years old.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, he had a cuss shirt, middle school shirt on.
I thought you said Kush.
No, I said cuss middle.
All right, well, hey, for everybody out there who knows what I'm talking about, that's a little inside joke. I guess there's some cuss Kush going around. The good stuff, the cuss Kush. But, all right, well, that's a little ridiculous. But, hey, anything else you want to get in on that, Norb?
No, that's about it.
All right, thanks. I'm going to let you go. We got another caller. Thanks for the call.
All right, not a problem.
Hey, caller, you there? Caller, you there?
Yes.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on? I just wanted to know what your feeling was about WSAR. They're pushing the education a lot in Fall River, and Dr. Mike in specific.
Listen, I'm going to say two things. One, I wasn't going to plug them until I get plugs. I don't plug them, so I don't want the name brought up again. It's not even animosity. This is business, folks, okay? This is business school. Let me take you to business school 101. I ain't plugging nobody for free if they ain't plugging me. Okay, write that one down. 101.
All right, I got that.
But what you're saying, hey, listen.
Certain guy, Dr. Mike, he's got a PhD, and from what I read, he makes only $28,000 a year. So how is that analogous to being successful with a PhD?
Listen, my name's Mike. I don't got a PhD. How much of a separation? Do I need one on the wall back? I'm going to create one, and I'm just going to put it on the wall back here. YouTube version's going to have it right here for the remainder of the show. I'm going to put a nice PhD placard right over there for everybody. But listen, caller, that's exactly where I was going with it. So you know what? You just made the transition for me. That's where the conversation comes from. I've been hearing for like the last 2 days this guy talk about how the city is and what we need to be and how we have to raise the educational level because we're going to deal with no jobs, or all the jobs that are coming are going to go away. And he was talking down about the service industry. Now, caller, I got a question for you, right? If you go and you get yourself an education, so let's say, for instance, you start a business, right? And you're upper management of this business, right?
Yeah.
Who are you going to hire?
I'm going to hire people that can make me profitable.
Well, right, but I mean, most likely you're going to need somebody on these lower tiers, right?
Absolutely.
So all I'm saying is, for these individuals to make like this, you know, we have to pump these. They're pumping the idea of these crazy jobs, right? Like we're gonna have this huge intelligence boom in Fall River suddenly. That's part of what I want to get at. Is suddenly we're suddenly gonna have this boom of intelligence in Fall River, and then magically all these intelligence jobs are gonna come to Fall River, and they're gonna be abundantly available for people to be hired, as if there's not gonna be a job shortage. Because I don't know if people are aware of this, but you know, just because you get that degree, you are not guaranteed any work, any job. So
I know a bunch of dummies with PhDs and master's degrees. Exactly. I listen to one once in a while on that other station. But yeah, Mikey, you're on point.
Listen, because I don't know if people know this.
It's not necessary to have a PhD.
It's not necessary.
No.
Listen,
All right, pal.
Are you familiar with in regions like, I think it's like Saudi Arabia or whatever, they had a huge problem with that, where they had this huge boom of college-educated individuals with no work. So you know what you now have? You have college-educated people who are frustrated, and that they're at that age where the testosterone is high. You know what that equals? Smart trouble. Not stupid trouble, smart trouble.
I'll leave you with this. I got kicked out of college twice, and I'm pretty successful. Have a good night, brother.
Hey, can I get that quote? Best show on earth.
Oh, it's the best show on earth, that's for sure.
All right, later, man. Hey, awesome caller right there. So yeah, he transitioned into exactly what I wanted to get at. Is that there's individuals in this city who are pushed by certain people, they're backed by them, and they want to get on their soapbox and talk like they know what's best for the city. Now, listen, we all need to upgrade, right? But we have to go at levels. There's levels to this ish, okay? You have to go up in levels. You can't sit there and think that this, like I said, we're gonna have a renaissance. So I don't wanna hear anything so stupid. For anybody to use terminology like we're gonna have a renaissance in Fall River, we're not gonna have a renaissance. Baby steps. You ever see, for the people, I'm gonna probably date myself, but the movie What About Bob, okay? Baby steps. It's one of my favorite words to use, my slogans, baby steps. You gotta take baby steps to get to real change. You gotta constantly look forward, but take baby steps. This guy goes around, he goes out there and he's just talking like as if we're gonna have all this intelligence boom. It's not gonna happen. But then to make it worse, like I said, it's this idea. Listen, to be clear, he literally was saying like, if we don't do this, it's gonna hurt our workforce, it's gonna hurt our schools, our children, our bodies, our minds, and our souls. It's gonna hurt our souls, America. All right? Like, this is what this guy was preaching to the choir about this. Now, nonsense, total nonsense. Now, time has been ticking, so I mean, I'm glad that caller brought that up, because that was what I wanted to highlight. Specifically, was this overall picture of our education system. Actually, you know what? I got 1 minute I want to kill on this. Here's the problem. When we talk about the education and the people that are, you know, labeled as problems in this city in general, one of the issues always comes down to, well, what came first, the chicken or the egg? So is the problems because of the school system, or is the problem because of the parents? My opinion is you can't just keep shoving money at this situation. The problem we have in Fall River is not necessarily a money issue. The problem we have in Fall River is the types of people who have been flooding into Fall River because either they have no choice or they were pushed by other situations in the state and in the country or whatever, right? Meaning we have the lowest common denominators pushed here. That doesn't mean everybody is. And if you're watching the show, you're probably not, okay? But you know for a fact that's part of the situation we have. So until we can cut this flow in from the state, which means we need to actually speak up at the state level and get this handled. That's one of the things I'm going to agree on with some other people who talk about getting some aid from the state. I'm not too comfortable with it. I got to look into the specifics more. But the fact that we've been bombarded with this burden from the state of having to deal with this, the state needs to actually do something about it, because we've been leveled with this for too long. How are you going to expect to fix the educational system? Are you going to keep pumping money at the school? The school has to then deal with the parents who, you know, some of them don't care, and the other ones who might care, God bless their heart, they don't have the ways and means. So it's a different playing field. You can only do so much. But that's all I want to rant about that right now, because I could go on, and I won't. So for that was that. But so let me see. There was something else I definitely wanted to plug something too while I have the time. because this show is airing live again. This is every Wednesday, folks, 6 to 6:30 p.m. But if you're catching this on YouTube, I'm going to try to get this out early tomorrow because the local group, Angels Anonymous, is doing an event. I believe it's Friday. Look for them on Facebook. Go to their Facebook page, Angels Anonymous. They're having a comedy fundraiser. It's a comedy show. And they do a lot of good stuff, so that's one thing. I'm honored to plug that. And then what I wanted to plug is a twofer, okay? My birthday's Saturday, the 21st. Well, it's just a quiddinky-dink that the Flint Neighborhood Association, my old stomping grounds, is having their own fundraiser at St. Michael's. I think it's St. Michael's. And it's a Mozambique fundraiser, so I wanted to plug that for sure. Because I'm planning on getting there, because again, I mean, it's 2 birds, 1 stone. It's my birthday. So I'm going to get some shrimp Mozambique for my birthday. And I'm just going to act like everybody's there for my birthday. Like, thank you guys for coming. It was so nice. Oh, you didn't. You shouldn't have. But yeah, so there's that. But now, you know what? While I got time and I don't want to waste, usually I wait till the last minute. I don't want to do that. I want to go right now into the fan favorite No Flex Zone Award of the Week. Jake and Kelly ain't paying attention. The fan favorite No Flex Zone Award of the Week. Jake, you're killing me, Jake. I have no sound, Jake. I don't know, Jake. You're riding on thin ice, Jake. Thin ice like this slush. Block that out. So anyway, all right, ladies and gentlemen, you are in the No Flex Zone. The No Flex Zone is a zone where you do not belong flexing. And by flexing, I mean doing anything you're not supposed to be doing in a place you're not supposed to be doing it. And this week's winner, folks, I heard about this earlier today, and I guess this happened on the 16th. There's going to be a little bit to explain here. The State Department issued a transportation warning, a travel warning to anybody going to North Korea. All right? Not Jeju, Korea, North Korea. They issued a travel warning on anybody going to North Korea, basically saying, don't do it. We do not advise you to do it. So my No Flex Zone Award winner for this week would be to anybody in the last 5 years who thought it was a good idea to go to North Korea, okay? You needed the State Department to tell you don't go to North Korea? I don't understand. I was trying to see if I can get this one, my favorites.
We'll make it clap.
That's for YouTube right there. Kim Jong-il coming out with that clap. Kim Jong-il, no, you don't want to do it. There's nothing safe there. If you ain't Dennis Rodman, you ain't one of these celebrities that he treats like, you're a Disneyland character, it's not going to work out for you. So I don't suggest, let me see if hey, Jake, can I get that real quick? Can I get a pad real quick? I'm going to try to do a demonstration real quick. Hey, thank you. Can I get that, can I get the red pen real quick? I'm going to go out the show with this. Thank you, Jake and Kelly, my 2 interns, Team JK. Listen, while the show goes out, we're going to get into some credits here soon. I want to show you something real quick. This is my opinion of how far you should be. Let's say this is going to be my America, as horrible as that might be. Okay? Let's see. That's going to be like America, okay? This is going to be the wall. And Mexico's going to pay for it. All right? Let's say this is you crossing the Atlantic. You crossing the Atlantic. Here's Europe. North Korea, somewhere over here. I want you there. There. Way there. Not even close. No Flex Zone Award winner. Any of these people with the kahunas to go to North Korea. Stop it. That's going to be the show, ladies and gentlemen. Come back for more. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your kids, tell your husband, how's your wives. We out here. Thanks, everybody.